Hello, hello. Hello again to all those out there who are interested in figuring out how to really use their strengths, the way that they're wired to create their own life-changing story in their life. Over at Isogo, I'm Becky Hammond, and we are just jazzed to be able to help fuel your life-changing story, really though through the power of your unique, beautiful strengths. Today is a day that I have been waiting for a long time, ever since we started this 9 steps blog post series and Facebook Live series that gives you the 9 steps to creating life change through your strengths. I've been excited to get to step 7, and that's where we are today, because step 7, getting clear on our needs, has been the number one element of the Strengths Finder, Strengths Paradigm, Strengths Finder in particular, the top 5 Strengths Finder strengths and the clues that they give to what needs you have that must be met, like mandatorily must be met in order for your talents to really show up and thrive as strengths. And so we are going to dive into that today to talk about how our strengths are not very good at telling us exactly what we should be doing. They're pretty good, actually. I would say they're great at telling you how you go about doing the things that you do. Everyone has their own unique path based on the way that they're naturally wired, what their strengths are. But the brilliance of the Strengths Finder perspective and living a life through your top 5 strengths is that these 5 words give you your clues, hints about your deepest psychological and emotional needs. The things that must be true in your environment in order for you to really thrive. And as I've discovered, in order for you to not be totally frustrated or not be totally de-energized. I've seen this show up at work and at home. At work, I was trying to go way back to see when is the first time I can remember the experience of not being energized or not being fulfilled because my strengths needs weren't being met. And I can think back to one of my very first jobs working in a medical office, and I was thrilled to be filing. I was thrilled to see how fast I could scan documents in and learn a new system. And I thought, oh wow, I can be excited doing anything. 8 hours flies right by. But as soon as I had mastered that task, so let's say 2 or 3 weeks into it, I could barely keep my eyes open because I had now learned everything there was to learn. And I couldn't, I didn't have a dynamic environment around me. And my learner and my arranger, had I known that at the time, would have given me clues to say, this is why you all of a sudden are feeling de-energized by something that you felt energized by 2 weeks ago, because now your needs aren't being met. And so that's just a simple example in our workspace. I think my challenge and my question to you is, when's a time in your own workspace that you have felt de-energized or unmotivated? And maybe it's something that you had been motivated about before, or maybe not. And if you look at your top 5 strengths in particular, if you have those, what are the needs that those strengths have that maybe were being violated when all of a sudden you felt like you didn't have the energy to approach your tasks that you used to? So that's my first question to you about your work and your needs. And then second, at home, I see this probably on an almost daily basis, and David, who's joined us here today, can second that, I'm sure. We, in particular, and over on the blog post for Step 7, I wrote more details of this story about the firestorm of our road trip. The road trip was awesome from San Diego to New York, but we, and I think I've shared this here before, we really experienced some major conflict and frustration over the fact that I felt like he was strangling my need to work at my own pace and he felt like I was literally shutting the doors in his face and his need for one-on-one connection. And only after 2 weeks in and tears and anger later did we humble ourselves enough to really admit that this is what was going on. This is what was happening. We were violating each other's needs, not meeting each other's needs, and we weren't even really figuring out how to go and get those needs met ourselves. And only because we had the StrengthsFinder language, we were really able to identify what the source of that crazy firestorm was all about. So my second question to you is, in your home life or in the relationships that are most important to you, when you have felt that frustration, think of a specific time and think through your top 5 strengths and what needs probably were being violated during that firestorm or during that escalation of an argument, and what you could do differently next time, or what you still need to go back and resolve from the last time. Now that you have an idea of maybe these needs could have been maybe this is what was going on, that I was feeling a violation or something that wasn't being met from my deepest psychological and emotional needs. And David says, the road trip, was 2,700 miles of fun. Yes, most of them were fun. Well, at least half of them were fun. Some of them were frustrating, right? And so this is something that comes up, and I think, I'm very excited about this topic, but it's only because it's something that comes up every single time I talk to somebody about their strengths. It becomes apparent in every conversation that I have with people about their StrengthsFinder top 5 strengths. And I just got back this morning from a red eye, having been in San Diego yesterday in a workshop with a client. And it came up even then. We were actually talking about volume dials, which I think is step 5 that you can go back and look at if you want or more information about that. One of the team members spoke up and said that he felt like he probably hadn't been using his ideation strength, and he was the only one on the team who had that, to contribute very much to the team. He kind of had the volume dial turned low down on his ideation strength. And as the group reflected and responded to this, it became very apparent that most of the group was more analytical, more question asking. And so anytime an idea was floated, not out of any sort of malintent, but they started poking holes in it. And so he started to be shy about sharing those ideas. And so this what they realized by the end was that this all got back to the violation of this person's need to be able to feel the freedom to express ideas, the freedom to be able to throw things out without having them get turned down immediately, that the ideas are valued. And by the end, you could see that they had realized this, and that they were almost begging him to share his ideas, and starting to recognize that they had a role in that, of not immediately poking holes in everything that he threw out. So just a recent example, recent as of yesterday, hot off the press, of a way that now this team dynamic has been changed because they understand the needs a little bit better of the people that they're working with, and are willing to and able to make an adjustment to help his talent really thrive as strength and help their team be even more close-knit and be even more productive and excellent together. One of the things that you now have all the tools for is putting together your own personal strength statement. I call it your dynamite personal brand. Combination of last week and this week, what you bring and what you need starts to, just like the team member yesterday, in the workshop, starts to be able to communicate exactly what you bring to the table and what environment you are really going to thrive in. And this will be important, probably aha moments for yourself, but also for the people that are around you that can help you create those environments that really help you thrive. So I will make sure to put a link for more information about that in our comments and our notes about this Facebook Live. So you can check that out there for a little bit more information on how to build your own personal brand. As well, we have this week's blog post up. Actually, it was posted last week. Step 7 blog post that gives you more details about how to really uncover your needs through your StrengthsFinder top 5 strengths as well. So you can go over and check that out. The link is right here in the description. And as always, please join us over. The best place for conversation about our strengths is in our Facebook group at Energy Up, Frustration Down by Your Strengths. I'll make sure to put that somewhere as well so you can get right over to it. And we'll be having an ongoing dialogue about this as well over there. So hop on over, ask to join. I would love to have you join this closed Facebook group and help fuel your life-changing story through your unique and brilliant strengths. In the meantime, I will love to hear from you, and we will see you again next week here on Facebook Live, same time, same place. Bye now.